Hello, Catch the Fire Church family. It's John Bootsma reporting. And to begin, for those of you that are asking about my lovely wife, who has not been around much this month, she was in Cleveland, Ohio on the second Sunday of the month. Last Sunday and this coming Sunday coming up, she will be in the UK, in England particularly. So she sends her love. She misses you all. That's the worst part of traveling, is to miss those that she knows love her, and she loves you in return here at home. So send up a prayer for her. That's what I do when I miss her. Next, I want to let you know about some of the great things that are coming up this week. All Italians, wherever you are, raise your hands, stand up, give an Italian hoot. We're celebrating you in our family feast on February the 1st. And in order to celebrate you, we're going to ask if you would just brag a little bit and share some of your best Italian dishes. And then the rest of us, if we could just come and join them by bringing let's say a salad or a dessert, and we just want to share some great festive cultural unity and diversity in our midst, and we're going to look to do that at the beginning of several months coming up. We're going to do it again March 1st and different months throughout the year. So Italians, you're first. And come and join us. So set aside February 1st for that. Also want to give you some more news that we are having an encounter weekend coming. And it's not just an adult one, it's a whole family one. So adults, you're going to join together in one place. The youth are going to join under Ben Kennedy, and Sandra Abrahams is doing one for children. Furthermore, we're offering accommodations in our 268 Atwell School of Ministry building. And so what we're willing to do, and information will be out on this, but for $149, that gives you 2 nights stay and all your encounter weekend material, your courses, and the whole shebang, all included in that. So it's just a nice getaway. Retreats are more effective when we actually get away from home, when we actually retreat and get away from the norm. And so that includes meals. And again, information is going to be forthcoming in that, but set those dates aside, Feb 20th, 21st. More on the news front this Sunday coming up. You're going about to listen to a video in just a moment by Hanny Bogosian of the Welland Bayview and Mission GTA, referencing the 100-year anniversary of the genocide of the Armenians under the Turkish Ottoman Empire. And we're going to have a reconciliation day. So intercessors, please start praying. Let's believe God for some breakthrough. We can affect national events and issues even here in the place of prayer, even here at Catch the Fire. What else is going on this week? Well, we're excited to know that we've got a Revival Alliance Leadership Conference. We've got Heidi Baker, Chuck Missler is here tonight. In our own wonderful team, we've got Steve and Sandra Long, John and Carol Arnett. We've got Duncan and Kate Smith. So we're going to have a great time. And so feel free to join us for that one, however, wherever you can. And big calendar down below of lots of things coming up, including, baptisms and so on and so forth. The Valentine's Day event. We're going to tell you more about that next week. But for now, let's turn over to Hanny Bogosian. And Hanny's a great guy. Let's listen to him, and we look forward to seeing you all this week. God bless. Bye-bye.
Hello, Catch the Fire. I'm Hanny Bogosian of the Welland Bayview and Mission GTA. Jesus taught his disciples to pray, "Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven." It's always exciting to see prayers answered, to see the heavens open and invade earth, and people, families, and nations touched by his purposes. We live in exciting times when Jesus is moving at a faster pace than we have known before. This Sunday at Catch the Fire, Airport Campus promises to be a time when heaven and earth will combine for powerful encounters. The Honorable Minister Jason Kenney, Minister of Employment and Social Development, as well as Minister of Multiculturalism, His Excellency Armen Yagayan, Ambassador of Armenia to Canada, as well as Reverend Majid Al-Shafi of One Free World International, will be the keynote speakers at One Free World's presentation of the Armenian Genocide, Remember 1915. The Armenian Genocide was the 20th century's first genocide, where the Armenians that were living in the Ottoman Empire at the time, 1.5 million of them were killed, and over 500,000 were deported, marched to walk to different nations all across the Middle East. Turkey continues to deny the fact of the genocide and even prosecutes people in Turkey that speak of it publicly. In 2004, Canada's Parliament recognized the events of 1915 as genocide. Today, there's a growing number of Turkish individuals who are becoming more vocal about the nation's guilt, as well as a growing number of Armenians who are intent on biblical forgiveness and reconciliation. This is not just an isolated conflict between two nations far from Canada, but rather a critical piece of the end-time puzzle of nations' destinies. In Matthew 20, Jesus, in a parable likening the kingdom to a landowner who went out and hired laborers to work in his vineyard at different times in the day, at the end of the day, when it came time to pay them, he paid them all equally. And he concluded the parable by saying, "So the last shall be first, and the first shall be last." We know that Israel was God's first nation, and the first nation that he dealt with. And it will be at the end of this age when he will restore things in Israel, as well as restore Israel to the kingdom. In the book of Acts, we see the kingdom expanding from Israel to Asia Minor, which is modern-day Turkey. In 301, the king of Armenia had come to the Lord, and he declared Armenia to be a nation under Christ as a kingdom nation. Today, one of the last nations in being reached with the gospel is China. And within China, there's a growing sense of the desire to take the gospel back to Jerusalem. It is known as the Back to Jerusalem movement, where Chinese individuals are intent on taking the gospel through the different nations between China and Israel. It seems that Isaiah was right. The Lord is restoring the hearts of the fathers and the children and the fathers. And it seems that this is happening with spiritual children nation waking up and desiring to restore their blessing to the parent nations that have brought them the gospel. This is where the issue surrounding this is the issue surrounding the whole of the Armenian genocide now begins to make a lot more sense, and begins to play into a larger scene than just a conflict between two nations in the Middle East. It is a piece that fits into the rest of what is going on. Both nations are stuck. Today's Turkey's blood guilt keeps it under the shadow of the curses associated with innocent bloodshed. As well, in Armenia, in the Armenian diaspora, the non-forgiveness of Turkey keeps Armenians sealed in the wounds of the past 100 years. Both nations are unable to fully realize God's full potential for their ordained destinies. Yet the words of Jesus give us hope. The first shall be last. Both nations are destined to be restored into the kingdom of God with great potential that is locked up in both. And that must happen before Israel's full restoration. The time is now. The time is Canada, Toronto, at the airport campus. So join us this Sunday as we experience all that the Lord has in store for nations as well as for each individual. God bless you, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday.